had a big head and big black eyes and was dressed in a black bodysuit.
They were wearing pure black.
And I came down and I saw the funny man with his eyes here, and I saw a spaceship, and there were a few little ones around it.
For centuries, alien encounters have often been dismissed as myths or wild imaginations. However, strange historical photos have surfaced, revealing mysterious figures and unexplained happenings that challenge everything we know beyond our world. From the unexpected figure showing up in a family photo in England to the sighting in Zimbabwe where schoolchildren witnessed alien life, join us as we dive into some of the most compelling photos of aliens from history that undeniably prove they're real. The Soulway Firth Spaceman. What you're looking at in this photo is one of history's strangest mysteries, and the story behind it has left people wondering for decades if this might be proof that aliens are real. On May 23, 1964, Jim Templeton, a firefighter from Cumbria, England, took his wife and daughter out to a quiet area near the Soulway Firth, hoping to capture some peaceful family photos with his new camera. He snapped a photo of his young daughter Elizabeth as she sat smiling in the grassy field. But when the film was developed, Templeton noticed something that hadn't been there before: a strange figure standing directly behind Elizabeth. The figure in the photo looked like someone wearing a spacesuit, with a white helmeted head and a bulky torso, standing stiffly in the background. Shocked and confused, Templeton was sure he hadn't seen anyone nearby when he took the photo, nor had his wife or daughter. Surprised, he took the image to the local police station, but they too were stunned. No one could explain the figure, and it wasn't long before the photo was making headlines around the world, with newspapers dubbing the figure the Soulway Firth Spaceman. When Kodak examined the image, they found no evidence of tampering or any technical flaw with Templeton's camera, adding further credibility to the mystery. As the story gained traction, theories began to fly around. Some speculated that the spaceman was actually Templeton's wife, who may have been standing in the background with her back turned. However, Templeton maintained that his wife had been standing to the side, out of frame. Others suggested the figure could be a time traveler, an alien, or even a visitor from another dimension. Jim Templeton's strange photo still leaves people wondering to this day. But it's not the only mystery out there. Next, let's show you another unbelievable encounter, this time at a school in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe School Encounter. On September 16, 1994, at Ariel School near Rua, Zimbabwe, over 60 children, aged 6 to 12, reportedly witnessed an otherworldly sight during their morning recess. They claimed to have seen a strange silver craft land in a nearby field, followed by the appearance of two small beings with large black eyes. The children described the beings as having slender bodies and wearing dark suits.
And then we saw something shiny, and we saw two people. They were in black, tight black suit, and they had big eyes.
The encounter became even more intriguing because the beings reportedly communicated with the children telepathically, delivering messages about humanity's environmental impact and the importance of preserving nature. This aspect of the incident, especially coming from children with no apparent reason to fabricate such a story, caught the interest of researchers and UFO enthusiasts. Dr. John Mack, a well-respected psychiatrist and Harvard professor known for his studies on alien encounters, traveled to Zimbabwe to interview the children. His extensive background lent significant weight to the investigation, and he reported that their testimonies seemed consistent, sincere, and uncoached. Later, filmmaker Randall Nickerson produced a documentary called Aerial Phenomenon, in which he interviewed many of the witnesses as adults. Many still stand by their accounts, suggesting a lasting impact of the event on their lives. Despite skepticism and alternative explanations, the Ariel School Encounter remains one of the most well-documented UFO sightings involving children. While skeptics might dismiss the Zimbabwe School Encounter because there aren't any actual photos from the incident, the next story on our list does have photographs, and they're unforgettable. Trent UFO Photograph. In May 1950, Paul Trent, a farmer from McMinville, Oregon, captured two photos of an unusual flying object that would become some of the most scrutinized images in UFO history. The event occurred one evening when Trent's wife, Evelyn, noticed a disc-shaped object flying across the sky. Without hesitation, Paul grabbed his camera and snapped 2 shots, clearly showing a silvery saucer-like object hovering in the air. The photos quickly made their way to the local newspaper and soon gained national attention. As the images circulated, they sparked intense debates, with skeptics suggesting they were a hoax and UFO enthusiasts pointing to them as solid proof of extraterrestrial visitation. Despite this, the Trent's testimony remains the same, consistently claiming the photos were genuine and that they had witnessed something they couldn't explain. One of the key factors that added credibility to the photos was the Trent's reputation in their community. They were seen as honest, straightforward people who had nothing to gain from fabricating such a story. Over the years, various investigations have attempted to debunk the photos, but none have definitively proven them to be fake. The clarity of the images, showing a clear disc shape against the sky, remains a focal point for UFO researchers. The Trent UFO photographs continue to be a topic of fascination for both skeptics and believers. Despite the passage of time, they remain one of the most compelling pieces of visual evidence in the ongoing mystery of UFO sightings, leaving us to wonder whether we are truly alone in the universe. Moving on from Trent's UFO encounter, let's show footage of real lights, captured in full view, that have left even experts stunned. Phoenix Lights, where what was seen was more than just a shape. Phoenix Lights. The story of the Phoenix Lights is one of those moments that just stops people in their tracks. It happened on the night of March 13, 1997. People across Phoenix, Arizona, looked up to see something incredible. A huge, silent V-shaped formation of lights moving slowly and gracefully across the sky. Stretching about a mile wide, the formation hovered above the city, so big and clear that thousands of people saw it. From families at home to pilots in the air, everyone seemed to be watching the same breathtaking, puzzling sight. The lights didn't just pass by once. First, people saw a triangular formation slowly flying overhead. Then later, a string of lights hung almost motionless over the area, as if something large was watching over the city. Naturally, the sightings had people buzzing. It wasn't just folks in the city, witnesses were spread across hundreds of miles. And in the days that followed, it seemed like the whole country was talking about what those lights could have been. But when people started asking questions, the response they got was minimal. Government and military officials were quiet at first. Eventually, the US Air Force came forward, saying the stationary lights were flares dropped by aircraft in a training exercise. But to many witnesses, that explanation felt like it didn't fit. They weren't just seeing lights, they were seeing a massive silent craft unlike anything they'd seen before. Today, the Phoenix Lights remain one of the most widely documented and debated UFO sightings in history. People still gather to discuss it, and documentaries have analyzed the case from every angle. You might be thinking, all of these UFO sightings happened in the 20th century, right? Well, the mystery of UFOs actually dates back much further than that. In fact, one of the earliest recorded UFO encounters took place in the late 1800s. Yes, you heard that right. The Aurora UFO Incident, and that is what we are about to show you. Aurora UFO Incident. The Aurora, Texas UFO Incident is one of the earliest and most intriguing UFO stories in American history. It took place in April 1897 when a mysterious airship reportedly crashed near the small town of Aurora, Texas. According to local legend, the craft, which was described as an odd, cigar-shaped object, came down on the property of a local judge. The crash scattered debris, and when townspeople went to investigate, they claimed to find the body of a non-human pilot. The residents of Aurora allegedly decided to give the extraterrestrial being a proper burial in the local cemetery. Some even say that the wreckage was thrown into a well. The story was first reported by the Dallas Morning News. Many skeptics argue that the tale was fabricated to draw attention to Aurora, which was facing economic struggles. They point out the lack of physical proof and suggest that the incident was a local legend that grew over time. However, UFO enthusiasts point to the grave marker in the local cemetery that supposedly depicted a cigar-shaped craft, suggesting that there may be some truth to the story. Now let's shift gears from the Aurora UFO incident to something even more intense. Forget about just lights or objects in the sky. This one's about a real-life UFO encounter that took things to a whole new level like the terrifying abduction of Travis Walton. Travis Walton abduction. On November 5, 1975, Travis Walton, a forestry worker, was with 6 colleagues in the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest in Arizona when they allegedly saw a glowing disc-shaped craft hovering nearby. Curious, Walton approached, but the craft emitted a powerful beam of light that knocked him unconscious. His co-workers, fearing for their lives, fled the scene. When they returned with law enforcement, Walton had vanished, sparking a 5-day search. He had been taken aboard an alien craft. He described encounters with alien beings. Walton's account was met with skepticism. This case's uniqueness lies in the number of witnesses. Walton's story has been widely publicized, inspiring the 1993 film Fire in the Sky. After the chilling story of Travis Walton's abduction, let's shift focus to another UFO encounter. But this one involves something entirely different. A mysterious object crashing in Kbur that might just make you question everything you think you know about UFOs. Kbur UFO Incident. On the evening of December 9, 1965, something strange lit up the sky over Kbur, Pennsylvania. Residents watched in awe as a blazing fireball streaked across the heavens, crashing down in a nearby forest. This once quiet town quickly became the center of a mysterious UFO case. Curious locals who rushed to the crash site. It was inscribed with odd symbols resembling ancient hieroglyphics, hinting at something out of this world. But before they could get a closer look, the military swooped in, sealing off the area and whisking the object away on a flatbed truck. Official reports insisted that nothing unusual was found, but the secrecy only sparked more rumors. Was it a Soviet satellite, a secret Nazi experiment, or could it have been an alien spacecraft? While we're still left in the dark about that mystery, let's turn our attention to another mind-boggling UFO encounter across the pond in England. One that has everyone questioning what really happened in those woods. Rendlesham Forest Incident. The Rendlesham Forest Incident, often called Britain's Roswell, took place in December 1980 near RAF Woodbridge in Suffolk, England. The series of unexplained events began when military personnel noticed strange lights descending into the forest. At first, they suspected a downed aircraft, but upon investigation, they encountered a glowing metallic object moving through the trees. Witnesses described the object as having pulsating lights. The most significant follow-up came 2 nights later when Deputy Base Commander Charles Holt led a team into the forest to investigate further reports. The team detected elevated radiation levels at the site. Despite the compelling eyewitness accounts and physical evidence, official explanations suggested natural phenomena, like distant stars or lighthouse beams, as causes for the lights. However, many of the witnesses, including military personnel who were present that night, remain convinced that the events were related to extraterrestrial activity. Over the years, the incident has been extensively investigated by both UFO researchers and government agencies, with many questions still left unanswered. Following the strange events at Rendlesham Forest, let's now head to New Jersey, where UFO photos have left experts questioning the truth behind a strange glowing object. The Wanaque Reservoir, UFO Photos. On the night of October 1st, several local residents gathered near the Wanaque Reservoir, a popular spot for evening recreation, when they noticed a strange object in the sky. What followed was a series of photographs that would later captivate UFO enthusiasts and skeptics. Witnesses claimed that the object emitted powerful beams of light and seemed to shift in shape as it hovered in the sky, though some argue that the images may be of an unusual weather phenomenon. The photos gained significant attention when they were developed and studied. UFO researchers, including the prominent Dr. J. Allen Hynek, who had worked with the U.S. Air Force's Project Blue Book, reviewed the images. Dr. Hynek, who later became a leading advocate for the UFO phenomenon, commented on the photographs. Though he did not offer a definitive explanation, the mystery deepened when additional reports came in from the surrounding area. Despite extensive investigations, no one was ever able to offer a conclusive answer. You might be wondering if these strange sightings were a one-time event. Well, let's take a leap back to 1914, where a similar mysterious incident unfolded in Roswell, New Mexico. Roswell Incident. The Roswell UFO Incident, which took place in the summer of 1947, started when a rancher named W.W. Brazel discovered strange debris scattered across his property near Roswell, New Mexico. The material was unlike anything he had encountered before, leading to both curiosity and concern. Brazel reported his find to local authorities, and the military quickly became involved. The first public statement from the Roswell Army Airfield declared that they had recovered a flying disc. However, just a day later, this statement was retracted, and the military claimed the debris was from a weather balloon that had crashed. This sudden shift in the official narrative fueled suspicions and set the stage for decades of speculation and conspiracy theories. Many believed that the government was covering up the recovery of an extraterrestrial spacecraft, possibly with alien occupants. Interest in the Roswell incident surged in the late 20th century, particularly as witnesses and whistleblowers came forward, claiming to have seen the recovery of non-human bodies and highly advanced technology. Despite official reports attempting to explain the incident, including the 1994 Air Force report, which attributed the debris to a top-secret atomic espionage project known as Project Mogul, the mystery surrounding Roswell persists. The Roswell incident has inspired countless books, documentaries, and films. The McMinville UFO photos, taken just a few years later, offer one of the clearest and most credible pieces of evidence, and that is what we are about to show you next. Before we move on to the next set of images, it's time for our subscriber's pick. Let's take a look at this mysterious image. Here we see a group of what appear to be alien beings, with large heads, thin bodies, and dark staring eyes. It's a picture that has fueled endless speculation over the years. Some believe it's photographic evidence of extraterrestrial life visiting Earth, while others argue it could be nothing more than a staged production or a still from a movie. The almost childlike posture of the figures raises even more questions. Are these genuine extraterrestrial entities, actors in costume, or perhaps even a creative fabrication? What do you think? Could this photo be proof of something beyond our world, or is it just a clever piece of special effects? Drop your thoughts in the comments. The McMinville UFO Photos. The McMinville UFO photos, taken in 1950 by Oregon farmers Paul and Evelyn Trent, are among the most iconic and credible UFO images ever captured. On the evening of May 11th, while on their farm in McMinville, the couple noticed a strange disc-shaped object hovering in the sky. Paul, a farmer with no prior interest in UFOs, quickly grabbed his camera and took 2 photos as the object hovered nearby, slowly moving across the sky before disappearing. The photos show a saucer-shaped object, clear and detailed against the backdrop of the rural Oregon landscape. The UFO appears to have a metallic, disc-like appearance, with no visible wings or propulsion systems. What makes these photos especially intriguing is their authenticity. Many of the early analyses, including those conducted by photographic experts and even the US Air Force, failed to discredit them as hoaxes or misidentifications. In fact, some experts regarded them as some of the best UFO photos ever taken, partly due to the lack of obvious manipulation or editing. What adds to the credibility of the McMinville photos is the fact that the Trent family had no reason to fake the incident. They were simple farmers with no connection to UFO groups or a history of such claims. Additionally, the photos were initially developed by a local photographer, and the couple's story remained consistent over time. The photos gained national attention when they were published in Life magazine, further cementing their place in UFO history. Over the years, the McMinville UFO photos have sparked ongoing debates, with some claiming they are evidence of extraterrestrial visitation, while others suggest they could be a weather balloon or military craft. Nonetheless, they remain one of the most widely analyzed and discussed UFO sightings of the 20th century. However, another captivating incident in Melbourne, Australia, further fueled public intrigue with its baffling events and the mysterious silence surrounding it. Westall UFO Encounter. Australia's most unforgettable UFO sighting unfolded on April 6, 1966, in Melbourne's Westall suburb. More than 200 students and teachers stood in awe as a strange silver-grey saucer descended into a nearby field, hovered briefly, then shot off at lightning speed. Witnesses reported smaller orb-like objects circling the main craft, as if in formation. Authorities arrived quickly, sealing off the area and brushing off questions. Despite the huge number of people who saw it all happen, the government's silence left many witnesses feeling bewildered and frustrated. Adding to the mystery, men in suits reportedly visited some witnesses afterward, urging them to keep quiet about what they'd seen. A student who snapped a photo even had it confiscated. Years of investigations and documentaries have only added to the intrigue, yet the Westall mystery remains unsolved. This encounter still raises bigger questions, not just about what these people saw, but about the secrets we keep and the truths we're told. Now let's move on to a remarkable event in Lubbock, Texas, a series of coordinated lights that still remained unexplained since 1951. Lubbock Lights. In August 1951, an unusual sighting in the skies over Lubbock, Texas, became a significant event in UFO history. Known as the Lubbock Lights, the phenomenon involved a series of lights that moved in a formation across the sky. First spotted by 3 science professors from Texas Tech University, the professors described seeing a group of bright bluish-green lights traveling at high speeds. Their report quickly gained attention due to their credibility as respected academics, which helped to validate the sighting in the eyes of the public. Shortly after, more local residents reported similar sightings, and a student named Carl Hart Jr. managed to capture a series of photographs showing the formation of the lights. These images added more intrigue to the mystery as they depicted what appeared to be several lights in a specific alignment. The U.S. Air Force's Project Blue Book, which investigated UFO sightings, looked into the Lubbock Lights but suggested that the lights were simply birds, specifically plovers, flying in a V-shaped formation. According to the Air Force, the birds were reflecting the light from newly installed street lamps in the area. However, many witnesses, including the professors who initially reported the lights, they argued that birds couldn't move in such a precise formation or produce the kind of light seen in the photographs. The Lubbock Lights remain a key event in UFO research, with ongoing debate between official explanations and the testimonies of credible witnesses. But let's shift our focus to the UFO wave that started in Belgium and continued for months. Belgian UFO Wave. The Belgian UFO Wave, which began in 1990, is another significant and well-documented UFO event in history. Over several months, thousands of people in Belgium reported sightings of large, silent, triangular objects flying at low altitudes. These UFOs were seen moving with unusual speed and precision, capturing the attention of both the public and authorities. The sightings were not limited to civilians. Police officers, military pilots, and even radar operators confirmed the object's presence, adding credibility to the reports. The most intense period of sightings occurred on the nights of March 30th and 31st, 1990, when the Belgian Air Force sent F-16 fighter jets to intercept the unidentified craft. Despite using advanced radar and tracking technology, the pilots were unable to lock onto the objects, which displayed incredible agility and speed, far beyond anything known in conventional aircraft. Radar confirmed the presence of these objects, but no solid explanation for their origin emerged. What makes the Belgian UFO wave so unique is the scale of the sightings and the involvement of military forces. The Belgian Air Force was transparent in its response, even releasing official reports and radar data. This openness made the incident particularly intriguing, as it highlighted how a government might deal with unidentified aerial phenomena. While the Belgian UFO wave of 1990 left authorities and military personnel scrambling for answers, another mysterious event in the Southern Hemisphere, the Kikura Lights of 1978, captivated both civilians and radar operators with strange lights in the sky. The Kikura Lights. The Kikura Lights, witnessed in 1978 off the coast of New Zealand, are one of the most captivating and well-documented UFO sightings in the Southern Hemisphere. The event occurred on December 21st, when a television crew from TVNZ was filming a documentary on the region's wildlife. As they flew along the Kikura coastline, they captured footage of strange, bright lights in the sky. These lights appeared to move in ways that defied conventional explanation, darting across the sky at high speeds, changing direction abruptly, and even seeming to hover. The sighting became even more intriguing when it was corroborated by radar data from both civilian and military sources. Air traffic controllers at the Wellington Control Center tracked the lights, noting their unusual movement patterns. At one point, a military pilot in a nearby aircraft was also able to visually identify the lights, but no conventional aircraft or known phenomena could explain their origin. The New Zealand Air Force conducted investigations, but no conclusive answers were reached. What made the Kikura Lights so extraordinary was the combination of eyewitness testimony, video footage, and radar evidence. The lights exhibited behaviors that didn't align with any known aircraft or natural events, leading to widespread speculation. Some researchers suggested that the lights might have been related to extraterrestrial visitation. The event remains a defining moment in UFO history. With all these strange and unexplained encounters we have shown you in this video, it's hard not to wonder if we're truly alone in the universe. Maybe these aren't just coincidences or misinterpretations. Perhaps they're hints of something bigger, something beyond our comprehension, waiting to be discovered. Thanks for watching. See you in our next video.